Ashley the Orange Lady. I'm here to give you the juice you need to build and sustain your career. Whew, I am a first-gen professional, and I have 20 plus years of experience in the tech, nonprofit, and public sectors. So, you name it, I've done it, and I want to take my career journey and turn it into lessons for all of us. Okay, here's another thing. I really want you to make, or I don't want to, I want to help you make smart career decisions that also set you up for good financial foundation so that then you can enjoy most of your time outside of work for the things that you love. Isn't that what our career is all about? Yes, it is. This is part 2 of my career journey. So if this is the first Squeeze podcast you're listening to, rewind, go back to last week so you can hear the first part of my journey, because we're going to pick up right where we left off. Again, no notes. I am recording this directly after the first one so that we have continuity. And I'll try to wrap it up so that this does not turn into 3 parts. Don't worry, I still have my iced coffee. Ooh, that's a little better jingle sound now that the ice has melted a little bit. Okay, where we left off. I had just gotten told that the new role was not for me, and therefore I was like, cool, this is not going to be for me forever either. What's next? I had been looking at grad programs for a minute, but I knew that, and I even took a doctoral level class at UNC. You know, you can sit in as a visitor and take a class. So I took a semester because I thought there was this program that I wanted to do. But what I realized was that I already had a lot of the skills needed to be successful in that program, which were research, literature reviews, digging in and understanding how the education system was built and how to critique it and how to set up new solutions. I would have gone deeper into that, no doubt. I would have learned, but the skills I was using were not new ones. And I knew that if I was going to spend that much money and that much time on a grad program, I needed to gain some skills that I didn't have. Right? I didn't feel like an MBA was for me, law school, no, like none of those like typical things, right? I looked for a hot second at public policy, but then I was like, I don't really want to do that. Like, let's be honest. And then I found, it was like the moment, shining lights, the UNC Masters of Public Administration. Well, I guess I first found the Masters of Public Administration, and I was like, this is it. This takes like my background and understanding, because the program that I found at UNC had both a public, like a government line, and then a nonprofit line, right? So you could kind of go down either of those. And I had a lot of the background to be like, I feel ready for it, but it was going to give me new skills. It was going to have me take like some legal classes. It was going to have me looking at HR policies, and it was going to have me looking at budgets, like public sector budgets and like nonprofits budgets. And how you make decisions based on that. So like there were just so many skills that I felt like I was going to gain that I did kind of put all my trust in this. I was like, okay, let me take this GRE, see what happens. But I did all the things that I've taught students to do that are doing college access, right? I reached out, I sat in on class, I made sure that I had all the information I needed about what my scores needed to look like. I did my GRE prep. Gross. So glad that's done. And fast forward, got in, Loved the program. I actually did, even though I lived in Durham, North Carolina at the time, and UNC is right up the road, I actually did the online program so that I had the flexibility I needed. The on-campus program was for generally younger students that were there full-time. I was going to be working full-time. Shout out to those of us that have worked full-time and gotten another degree. We are special. Whew. I don't wish that upon anybody. It's such a privilege to be able to just go to grad school and not work, but that's not how everybody does it. So, incredible experience. And I knew that what I wanted to do next was actually move to the private sector. I wanted to go into some level of corporate social responsibility because in all of my nonprofit years, I had been working with all of these different corporations and they had been investing in programs that I was running, launching, building. But I didn't always think they were asking for the right metrics or able to really understand their return on investment. And I was like, if I'm on the other side of the desk, I can actually help corporations make better investment decisions into the community so that they are making the most impact with the dollars that they implement. Okay, that was a long story to say that was what I focused my research on during my master's. All while still, again, working full time. Fun fact, during my program, I was dating and I met Gregory Francis, my husband now, but we were dating and it was incredible. But also, Greg ended up leaving North Carolina and moving back to New York to help take care of his parents with some health issues. And so we kind of had this point in our relationship where it was like, okay, are we going to do this? We're not going to do this. We're doing it long distance. And eventually, fast forward, that's a whole other pod. I decided I was going to move to New York. I was going to relocate January 2016. I let my job know in October that I was going to move in January, but still finish and work telecommuting the rest of the academic year because I would finish it out. So I could live there, start to build my network in the city, and job hunt while I was finishing up in North Carolina. Did that. I applied for so many roles in New York City, y'all, like so many. And I got so many interviews. Half the time it came down to, oh, you've never worked in the city before. You don't have any experience in New York. You don't understand the colleges here, the high school system here. I was like, no, but I'm a smart person and can learn and do things. But there was definitely this like, oh, you don't know the city. You're just a small town girl. Like, that's great, but you're not what we need for this role. And these were like director of posse, like roles that were like significant. Finally, someone took a chance on me and I became a director of college counseling at a high school in the Bronx. Shout out to Renaissance High School and some of you that are JuiceBar members now. It's been awesome to be on this journey with you. So I did that for 1 year and then I got contacted by a program in the city that was looking to kind of resurrect their program that had been dormant. And so I became the program manager for them. Well, this program got me a step closer to my goal as I was finishing my master's degree. Move to New York City, finish your master's degree, like a lot. Find a new job, find another new job. It was hectic those first few years in New York. This new role actually partnered with corporations like Google, Spotify, Bank of America, Deutsche Bank, Williams Capital, Guggenheim. So it was that in between that I needed to be able to then make the leap. When someone in my network, shout out Tia, said, hey, I'm hiring for a role based in New York. You want to send this to your network? And then it was like she winked at me through the phone. Just kidding. She really did want me to send it to my network, but she was also like, hey, if you're interested, give this a look. I gave it a look. It was a contract, and I said, no, thank you. That is scary. I had always had a full-time role, salary, benefits, just kind of like felt like security, comfort, right? But then fast forward, I don't know, a month, I was like, Greg had convinced me, okay, it wasn't me. Greg convinced me. He was like, you're successful at everything you do. There's no way you're going to get in there and fail. Take the leap on yourself. Like take the leap on yourself. Take the leap of faith on yourself. Believe in yourself. Oh, this just got really cheesy. Okay. But what I'm saying is I had somebody in my corner that believed in me more than I did at that time, and I did it. So that is how I started my career in tech, was at Google, working alongside a dear friend. It felt like making magic. It was amazing. During that time, I converted to what's called an FTE, a full-time employee at Google. That is also another discussion. And we'll pause that story right there and just say that after that, we came back to North Carolina. I left Google. This is when I'm going to sip my coffee again. Because, yeah, there's a good story there. Seconds left. So, go back to North Carolina. In January 2020, Greg and I moved into this apartment. We were excited. He had just started his job at Google. And then the pandemic happened. Woo, fun. I had launched Orange Lady Consulting and was working with different private sector partners on community engagement work, similar to what I had done for Google. And then again, network connected me to who is now a dear friend. Jeremy Collins was the director of connectivity and innovation for the state of North Carolina. He was working on a special project for the governor, and I had the expertise and experience he needed that we could be a great partnership and do incredible work and help build out the governor's connectivity plan for the entire state. Then, this is why I tell people to keep their DMs open, or not DMs, but they're open to work for recruiters on LinkedIn, because you never know what's going to come your way. A hiring manager at Amazon DM'd me, and I was in shock because it wasn't a recruiter. It was actually a hiring manager. And fast forward, went through the interview process. It's called The Loop at Amazon. Got what they called offered the job, but not that job. So then you get shopped around to other hiring managers. Basically, that role had already been filled. And so they were like, you're awesome though. So we are going to present you to other hiring managers. One picked me. Awesome. Thanks for taking a chance on me. And I have just completed a year at Amazon. But what I did in April 2020 is the most important thing. That was when I launched The Squeeze. And yes, I'm saving that for last, even though it happened before now, because that has been incredible. Launching The Squeeze, getting people to believe in it, not just follow the content, but sign up to work with me to help launch their career, make career moves, get ready for interviews, make difficult decisions that impact their life. And The Squeeze continues to grow and change, and that's actually why you're listening to a podcast now. That's one of the new pieces. And I'm looking at the clock right now, and we are almost at 14 minutes. I could talk a lot, apparently, about my career because I'm old. Just kidding. I have a lot of experience. That's what we'll call it. Again, drop a note if you want to hear me. Maybe I can dig into certain parts of it that you want to hear about, my kind of decision-making process. Whatever you're curious about, I am willing to share. So you just have to contact me, DM, email, find me on Instagram, THESQUEEZE.MADEFRESH. Okay, now you've got, again, my career journey juice part 2. And I think that's the end. We'll dig deeper into some other topics next week. Okay, talk later. Bye.